Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding Officer, Headquarters and Support Battalion, Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune, Colonel Chandler P. Seagraves, welcome to the retirement ceremony for Master Gunnery Sergeant Paul D. Bishop. During today's ceremony, Master Gunnery Sergeant Bishop will retire after 30 years of honorable and faithful service. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation offered by Chaplain Dusenberry. Remain standing for the national anthem and posting of the retiring official.
Let us pray. Almighty God, who makes all things new, you have ordained that all rites of passage, like this retirement, will simultaneously conclude one phase of life while commencing a new phase of life. So be it. Bless now, O Lord, Master Gunnery Sergeant Bishop on this, his retirement day. Bless the future years. May they be a time of enjoyment and peace, filled with the presence of loved ones and friends. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Now taking position is the retiring official for today's ceremony, Retired Major Michael Lujan.
Person to be decorated and retired. Senator, march.
The President of the United States has taken pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal, Gold Star in lieu of third award to Master Gunnery Sergeant Paul D. Bishop, United States Marine Corps, for service set forth in the following citation: for outstanding meritorious service while serving as Staff Non-Commissioned Officer in Charge, Combat Camera, G35 Department, Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune, from November 2014 to October 2015. Master Gunnery Sergeant Bishop's technical acumen allowed him to manage Combat Camera's budget, multiple contracts, and coordinate with outside agencies. He was responsible for the imagery collection, management, production, and use for units across Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune. He enhanced standard operating procedures for 3 sections, which allowed for more decentralized execution and standardization of daily imagery production tasks. His section in turn concurrently completed 100% of the required Marine Skills annual training. His technical expertise allowed his section to accomplish over 500 support requests, totaling more than 10,000 production units, archival of more than 3,700 photographs and 4,100 minutes of video, and the submission of over 1,400 minutes of video imagery and 1,000 still images. Further, he maintained 100% accountability of the table of equipment valued at more than $500,000. His superior performance of duty during this tour is the hallmark of a career devoted to accomplishing broad and diverse tasks in combat and peace, highlighting the culmination of 30 years of honorable and dedicated Marine Corps service. Master Gunnery Sergeant Bishop's untiring efforts to carry out his demanding tasks with unfailing good judgment, effectiveness, and total devotion to duty reflected great credit upon himself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. For the President, T.D. Widley, Brigadier General, U.S. Marine Corps, Commanding General, Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Master Gunnery Sgt. Paul D. Bishop, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Marine Corps on the first day of February 2016. Washington, D.C., Joseph F. Dunford, Jr., General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Certificate of Appreciation for meritorious service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Gunnery Sgt. Paul D. Bishop, USMC. I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Dear Master Gunnery Sgt. Bishop, the Marine Corps has been your profession for at least 30 years. Many aspire to be a Master Gunnery Sergeant, but those who achieve it are few, and they must clearly demonstrate the exceptional leadership qualities we have come to expect of our senior Marines. You have reason to be proud of your most successful career. As a teacher to young Marines, a source of wise counsel, and as an example of those soldierly virtues who we so admire, you have made a mark on the Corps that will remain long after you have left our active ranks. There are many young Marines you have influenced who will carry on in the same fine tradition that has always characterized the United States Marine Corps. You have my best wishes for good health and continued success in the years ahead. Semper Fidelis, Joseph F. Dunford, Jr., General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Dear Master Gunnery Sgt. Bishop, on the occasion of your retirement, I would like to extend my congratulations and heartfelt thanks for your many years of dedicated service and selfless devotion to our country and Corps. You have made tremendous contributions and sacrifices throughout your Marine Corps career. As you prepare to enter this new chapter of your life, you can look back with immense pride and satisfaction on all you have accomplished. You have set an example of professionalism and leave a standard of excellence for all Marines who will carry on the legacy of our Corps. My wife Andrea joins me in wishing you continued success in the future. Semper Fidelis, Ronald L. Green, 18th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. National Ensign Letter of Authenticity, duly endowed and granted to Master Gunnery Sergeant Paul D. Bishop, United States Marine Corps. This is to certify that this National Ensign was proudly flown at John and Lejeune Hall, Headquarters, Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, 4 July 2015, in honor of your faithful and dedicated service. R.F. Castelvi, Brigadier General, U.S. Marine Corps, Commanding General, Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Master Gunnery Sgt. Bishop will now be joined by his wife, Erica, and children, Morgan and Paul. Certificate of Appreciation, United States Marine Corps, presented to Erica J. Bishop, Morgan A. Bishop, Paul D. Bishop II. You have earned the Corps' grateful appreciation for your unselfish, faithful, and devoted service during your husband's and father's Marine Corps career. Your unfailing support and understanding helped make possible your spouse's and father's contribution to the Corps and to this command. We fully realize that this was not made possible without your personal sacrifice during your father's tour of duty. Given the 17th day of November 2015, Chandler P. Seagraves, Colonel, United States Marine Corps, Commanding, Headquarters and Support Battalion, Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune. Ladies and gentlemen, the retiring official, Retired Major Michael Lujan.
Well, it's a great day. It's a day that, every Marine reaches this point in their career. Big 3-0. When Paul asked me to be his retirement official, I couldn't be more honored. I I don't think there's another Marine that I hold as high in esteem, and holds the values, the traits, the principles, does everything that a Marine should be. If you were molding a Marine, you could make a perfect Marine, a leader, a mentor, an inspiration, set the example, lead from the front, take care of your Marines, motivate them. I mean, all those accolades describe this man in front of me. Every day that we work together and all the time that I've known him, they never passed without, me watching him, knowing the way he handles senior officers, junior enlisted, and all those guys along the way. But you know what? He was consistent with all of them. No one was given special treatment. Everybody's held accountable. And not a lot of us have the moral courage to bring it out, and I'll tell you a couple of stories as I get on it. But I think more than anything, this day is for Erica, Morgan, Paul Jr., and Ashley. And Ashley couldn't be with us here today. I know she's doing something probably as a hobby, like creating cold fusion power or something, knowing her. But, a long time ago, a mentor of mine told me that, the way you can judge a man by how good of a leader and how good of a Marine he is, watch him in front of his family. Watch him in front of his wife, watch him in front of his kids. And there you'll get a good judge of how good that Marine's going to be. He's right, absolutely right. Because this guy, every day, like I said, every day we talk about our family. We talk about everything. There's nothing we never, when we were in the same office, hey, what do you think about this? I got a daughter that's 23, and I got my younger boy, so I always ask him about those things. And he would freely give me some nuggets that I would, why didn't I think of that? It's a guy, how does that happen? How does this Marine happen? A guy like that, there's a bedrock of intangibles inside of him. There's a leader in there that is developed, and somebody set the foundation. Could have been his mom, his dad, his brother, sister. Someone set the foundation there, and the Marine Corps kind of allowed him to realize it and bring it to the forefront. And he took that on, and then some. When he first joined the Marine Corps, he became a combat camera. Went to his first duty station, the Marine Corps challenged him right away. Great, you just went to your MOS school. Go be a coach on the ranges. One of the toughest jobs in the Marine Corps is being a coach on the ranges. He was a brand new Marine. Thrust out there, go do what you got to do, challenge you. That's what the Marine Corps does right away. You're not going to get comfortable in that lane. You're not going to say, well, I'm just a photographer, I'm just a videographer, I'm just an 03, I'm just, a logistician, whatever. You're not going to be in that lane. You're not going to remain there. If you want to be above and beyond and challenge yourself, then you get out of your comfort level, and that's a hallmark of his entire 30 years. He always challenged himself, and he produced outstanding results in every area. Everything from coaching, MOS schools, honor graduate here. I mean, you can read his bio. But what I think my responsibility to you, Morgan, Paul, Ashley, Erica, is to brag on him because he's humble. He's humble. He's an extraordinary man. One of the best Marines I've ever known. I mean, hands down the best. You come in and you see heroes and you say, I want to be that guy. I want to be like him. And he does it, with humble approach. He takes care of his Marines. He challenges those around him. He betters every unit he goes to. He's not satisfied with the status quo. There's always something better. You can always get better. You probably heard that. Right? Get there, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's always, don't be satisfied with what you got. Keep pushing. And those things are always been, the things that he does. He didn't have to go to DI duty. You volunteered to go to VA. And one of the most difficult things for a career Marine to do is be an outstanding Marine and then have an outstanding family. It's very, very difficult. The training deployments, the war deployments, separation, all those special days that you may not be able to be there. But what makes this guy so special is you, Eric. It's you, Morgan. Because that's what drives this guy. I can guarantee you, nothing more inspires this man than his wife and his children. And I take that on to my home. How I am going to keep my younger boys and how I'm going to guide my daughter and how I'm going to do things. Because this guy is just special. I can go on and on. I'm going to go on for about 10 or 15 minutes. Because you guys that have known me for a while know I'm very shy and I don't like to talk in front of people so I don't get long-winded. But I want to make sure, you know, when he first asked me, I never get, you know, nervous about talking in front of people. It's just one of the things I like doing. I like training, I like teaching and so forth. But when he asked me, I have to honor this guy. I have to honor him because the long-term impact that this guy's going to has had on our field in the Marine Corps is going to be felt way years and years in. Everybody knows that the Marine Corps will go on without you. It's not, you know, I got it. Everybody understands that. But the impact that this guy has had on our Marines, junior Marines, our officers, our occupational field, the entire joint schoolhouse is amazing because he always went and took on that challenge. Like I say, he was a DI and he was an outstanding DI. You know, going through it with his kids really young, actually jumping off the high dive, showing the recruits, hey, my little girl could jump off that high dive, why can't you? You know, set the example. Those are the things that are just so special. I mean, those are core memories that you look at in those past 30 years on, and they're just like, oh, you know. You never forget those things. Those things are special. But what every Marine that I've talked to in the last few days has said to me, to a man, 100% of them, is that I wanted to be that guy. I didn't know, he's going to be, he's going to retire? Yeah, he's going to retire. He was it. He was the ultimate guy. He was the example, bar none. Officer, Chief Warrant Officer, LDO, this guy outdid us all. You know, the accomplishments that he's had, I had to jot down just to make sure I didn't forget anything. But I've known him for such a long time that he never talks about the things that he does when he's pushed and brought out into some foreign land. When he went to Iraq, and he had 50 plus Marines in his charge that he had to keep safe, but he had to deploy every day into some harsh conditions. This is 2007, 2008, remember that. Things were pretty, there was hot lead flying, there was all kinds of chaos going on, and they had to go into some pretty bad places and then bring them back. But he had 50 Marines in there. He's a Master Gunnery Sergeant. And he had to coordinate, he had to send them out, he had to target what needed to be targeted, and then he had to guide them all back in, and that's a heck of a deployment, a heck of a challenge. But he did it with his own initiative, his own style, and he did it himself. 26 combat missions. You got a Bronze Star, right? You guys know the Marine Corps doesn't hand out medals. You got to do some really serious stuff for you to get some medals of this Marine caliber. You got a Bronze Star, valid. It's valid. Extraordinary. 26 combat missions. He didn't have to be the convoy commander leading from the front, going out doing it himself. He didn't have to go out on the combat missions on himself. You know what drove him to do that? Because he wasn't going to put his Marines through something that he wouldn't do himself. That is very, very special, very unique. A lot of, the Marine Corps isn't perfect. You're going to get the guys that'll say, all right, man, charge ahead. I'll be back here. I'll be back here, and I'll see you guys later. No, he was the guy at the front at the point, going down every single day, You know, talked to some of his opsos and they told me he'd come back, but he never talked about it. He never, that's the thing. Guys that go through that, they absorb it, they see what's going on, and they never talk about it. It's a unique among combat vets that they're humble about it. And he did some heroic things, really extraordinary things over his career. But, you know, those are the things that, like I said, he's not going to ask you guys to do anything that he hasn't done himself. An amazing man that has, you know, accountability, the standards, the traits, the principles. You have to believe in it. Really, I've been a Marine all of my adult life. I've never been anything else. And you have to believe in the institution. You have to know that everything around, all that Marine things, those mean something. There's sacrifice. There's things that they did. Those heroic guys. The least guy that you even consider would be the heroic guy. Oh, there's guys. Chief Warrant Officer Williams, you know, West Virginia. I expected the man mounted 7 foot come out Medal of Honor winner, about this high. You know, where do these guys come from? They just come out of that institution that teaches them and believes in the institution of what the Marine Corps stands for. It could be the PFC that's walking around with his pants on the ground. That man's gonna correct him. You know, walk right up to him and say, and do it very subtly. They say, you need to square yourself way up. And make him feel good about it. Yes, Master Gunnery Sgt. Truck on up. Then there's a colonel that comes in with his cami bottoms and his hoorah shirt and his black belt. He's got all the tabs on it. Paul takes a step, looks at him, comes up to the big colonel and says, "Sir, you can't wear that." "Well, you know, I'm CEO of this and I'm of this. You can't wear that." "Well, you know, I'm the blah, 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 and I got to do this." Still can't wear that. Yes, Mr. Gunnery Sgt. So, like I said, everybody gets their fair share. He doesn't waver. He stays on track. He makes sure that if he's telling somebody something, he's following those same rules. There's no hypocrisy there at all. And those are some of the things that I can't, you know, to have that moral courage to do it in whatever place, climbing place, is something that's extraordinarily special. I think, you know, you take care of your family, you take care of your Marines, you take care of your mission, you take care of your promotion opportunity. All those things wear on a man, but that's a pretty good looking 30-year-old Master Gunnery Sergeant right there in front of you. You know, he's not limping around, he's not chewing on Motrin every day, he's still part charger, he's still doing the things that need to be done. He's still hiking with his daughter in Jordan, doing the things, crazy stuff on the zip lines. And what were you riding that thing, a camel, or was it a donkey?
I'm riding a mule. I'm too small for me. Too big.
So, I mean, he's taking care of himself. He knows what's ahead of him. Everything this Marine will do will be a success. I mean, you see it over his bio. You know? As a range coach, as a DI, as a leader amongst our field. Every part of our occupational field, our combat camera field, it's been touched by this Marine. Our .mil-PF issues, our doctrine, which is basically, if you don't know what doctrine is, your Bible, how you do things and how you deploy, how you execute, how you task organize, your organization, your materials, your training. Training is a functional piece that's most critical in all of the Marine Corps, because if you're not fighting, you're training. You know, same thing, constantly. You're not fighting, you're training. You're training to prep for that. One of my closest mentors ever, Buck Bedard, chose to tell me that concept. But this Marine went up into the Defense Information School, became the Staff NCOIC there. He probably made more of a mark than probably all of his predecessors before him or after. Because he's an engaged leader, he's a dynamic Marine, he's a wise man, and more than anything, he cares about those Marines. Those Marines that I see him interact with here are just, you know, I just see it. It's just, you watch him, You just can't help it. I was back there watching him right away. As soon as they walk in, he's right there taking care of it. You know? So those Marines are inspired by that. Marines will see a genuine leader and know what he's all about. They know that he cares for them. It has a genuine concern for their welfare, their advancement, and all the things that they do. That more than anything is probably his most endearing trait. And again, if you try to fake it, you try to do it just for show, and somebody's watching you. Marines, you know, right? Those of you that know Marines that are Marines, right? You know better, right? You'll see it. It's like, what's he up to? Not him. It's just, you know, you respect it. It has an aura. It has a dynamic demeanor that is just resident. That's an amazing thing. I think we're gonna, I can't think of anything else of that sets him, his example more toward the end of his career. He went and he deployed. He could have sat like some of his predecessors where he deployed to and did some minimal things. But the leadership saw him there. This is a key thing now. Made him the Jordanian operations chief. It's basically a State Department. You're working for the embassy, for the ambassador, and you're making sure every Marine in that region is squared away. And this guy went around doing it all. Why? I'm sure a colonel or general picked him out, watched him day to day, and said, I want that guy. It's just a hallmark from the beginning all the way through the end. There's always charging forward and doing the things that are special. I am humbled to be in front of him today. I am proud to call him a brother Marine, a friend, and the family that you have. It's something that you'll cherish forever. You know, the man's wealth and how he's made an impact in this world. You've taught me that. You've taught me that, you know, when things get a little rough, just kind of, you know, analyze it, deal with it, and make the most of it. For Erica, Morgan, Paul, Ashley, your dad's gonna, you know, another chapter in his life, but he's gonna be successful. I just can't wait to see what great things he does now. But, you know, 30 years is it. That's enough mileage on anybody, believe me. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I've honored you today, Paul, Erica, Morgan, Paul, Ashley, today in describing to you just how special your dad is. We're going to miss him. His impact is going to be long-lasting, and he'll always be the model for what Marines should be. With that, I present to you Master Gunnery Sergeant Paul Bishop.
How am I supposed to follow that? For those of you who don't know, Mr. Mike Lejeune, Major, he's really known as Mr. Congeniality. All right, so that's him. I knew he'd give a good speech and send me out of here probably more than I deserved and everything like that. So that's great. So I got some notes. I thought about writing a speech, doing all my stuff, getting prepared. I was like, there is no way I can do that. So we'll have some notes, and then I'm going to wing it. So be prepared. All right. So I'd like to thank Mr. Thacker back here. I know Mr. Phillips and all of them are busy, and Colonel Davis. My thanks to them. Didn't deal with you guys as much as time. The main reason why was I'm probably one of the best officers we have on active duty here in the West right now. So, and that's great for me, and he helped me transition. Because, you know, when I was coming back from Bahrain, Jordan, I was like, okay, I'll go back there. I need to really start working on, you know, retiring, growing up, getting a real job, you know, and all that stuff. And so I came here, and we had Chief One Officer Krupanicki, and then before me we had this guy, another legend in our field, Mac, or Master McMahon. All right? So I came here, and there was very little I had to do. I came here, I was like, wow, this is good. And it's in my West, usually when I went somewhere, I was like, wow, I get this fixed, I need to get this fixed, I need to get this here. I was like, wow, just a couple little tweaks, and that's what we should always do as leaders. We go somewhere, we make it better. All right. And that goes right down to the section. You know, I got presented a Meritorious Service Medal today. Most of that was probably just because I'm retiring. All right? It was all about work. It wasn't me. That was him, and I sat around. You see these Marines over here, everyone takes some photos. They did all that stuff. Matter of fact, last couple of months with all the PTAD and leave, and all of a sudden my body starts falling apart, finally, medical and all this other stuff. And he's like, who's this guy? Why does he never wear a uniform? I know Jen will appreciate that. They said I wasn't working either. So if it wasn't for this section, I don't think I'd have transitioned as easy from other sections. All right, so now we'll talk about Mike. All right, asking Mike, I had a list, like, okay, maybe this person, and then when I got back, and I was like, okay, I'm thinking about it, and it's coming down at 2 people, and it's crazy. Both of them are named Mike. All right, and my current boss, and I've known him since he was a sergeant in Iraq, outstanding. So both of you guys. But Mike, when I first had the pleasure of seeing Mike, we're at my very, very first combat camera conference. You guys are not combat camera or haven't been to one, those things can get ridiculous sometimes. All right, so and everything. So and I see Mike come up there, and he's an OIC, 2nd Marine Division, young. I think you were a Chief Warrant Officer then when you was given the thing, and he's sitting there and he's talking about his guerrilla marketing, how he's sitting there, how he's selling the MOS, how he's making commanders realize what we can do for him. He's sitting there talking all that, and I'm like, yeah, I want to work for this guy someday. And then, I'd like think about stuff, and I was like, my leadership style, how I developed it, I would actually say a good bit of it was from leaders I really didn't like when I was a younger Marine. I was like, I never want to be like that guy. So Mike goes to, I can't remember his name, I know it's a master sergeant. For some reason he wasn't in uniform. All right, and I was like, who is this joker? All right, because that's the way it was. And all of a sudden Mike goes, we're talking about support of the MAGTF. He goes, yeah, Master, tell us what the MAGTF is. And this guy's like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I can't progress. And I was a new gunny. I was like, I can't progress through the Marine Corps and not understand what big picture Marine Corps stuff is and how our MOS supports it. Because if we're not thinking that way, the Marine Corps is not going to need us. All right, so think about that way. And then it progressed along, come across him a few times, and I always like, what he said about me and my family and how it was, that's what I love about him. All right? But him, his family is everything. So, and then I had the pleasure of sharing the office. Kind of, we had a little wall right next to each other, and we just had some great, great conversations. We love to take our trips up to Dinfos and put them on the ropes and everything. We wanted our Marines trained a certain way. You will never get a tips up and running at Dinfos. You will never do this. You will never get your own equipment put in Dinfos. I assisted Mike doing all of that. And to me, that was a great big deal. All right, train, we talk about train how we fight. We need to have this stuff in the schoolhouse. Where it's going now, I hope it will maintain it, but I don't think so. But for you young guys and gals, that's something you have to think about. All right, so going to my next little thing. So when I hit some of my friends and family, my sister Cheryl, brother-in-law Doug. Doug's the Marine also. He's participating in No Shave November right now. And everything like that. So, they called me, said they're going to make it down. I really appreciate it. Tariq and I have known each other a little bit over a year and everything. Came all the way from Jordan. Just these other things, but came here and everything. See that? Kid and Rachel, they're there so much for me. Everything. And then I look around the room and I go to a lot of people came from Jordan. Tim, of course, Lieutenant Ronke, Major Kowals, Jen, everything. Gaines train, as we like to say it. Everything. They came here and made things to Rob and Jerusha. I can tell stories about their daughter and everything when young thing, but we're next door neighbors in Hawaii, 2000 to 2002. Steve Short, we employed with, and everything up there, neighbor, my neighborhood. And the Marines and everything that are here and everything like that. I got little stuff I want to say to you and everything like that. And I'll hit more of it a little bit, and I want to hit the friends and everything like that. And then family. You heard enough about my family and everything. So, but they're everything. I mean, everything I think of is them. All right. And recently meeting Jeff last year. Jeff's becoming a close friend. It's just awesome. That's what made it a good part of my career. Everything like that. So made it what I enjoy. All right. So I want to talk to the Marines. I want to talk to you and give you, if you haven't got a great advice from me before and everything like that, I'm probably not going to say anything like that today, so I'll try to generalize it. So for you young Marines, when I was in your seat, if you're on your first enlistment, I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't going to stay in the Marine Corps. I was getting out. All right? But I always made a point, I look back, I couldn't have did much better, to do well, because I knew that would benefit me in the future. So if you're sitting there and you're the person listening, like, oh, I'm getting out, or I'm staying in forever, we'll see what happens, but make the decision what's right for you. But right now, start your career. Like you're going to be the next Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, Commandant, head of the yacht, like Major Lejeune was, or like me, Master Gunnery Sergeant. And if you don't, all you've done is have a successful tour, or however long you stay in, and you got a great resume when you go out. All right, so let's keep that. For you older Marines or mid-level managers and everything like that, what I want to say to you is, I worked with a guy who just frustrated me because he always thought that rank had his privileges. He'd yell at a young Marine for doing something, but then go do it himself. All right, so that's not what we do. For you older Marines, everything, lead by example. If you're not going to do it, if you're not going to be able to do it, don't have your Marines do it. All right, set the example, lead them by example, and reward them, and also guide them, counsel them. But there's another point when you have to start holding them accountable. I heard too much as I progressed in the senior enlisted ranks of this MOS of how that guy got promoted. People ask me, how did you get promoted? I don't know, I haven't written a paragraph in my life. Officers do. So the officers need to hold people accountable. You have to be a leader. Yeah, you can be friendly with them, but if they're taking advantage of that friendship and they're not doing their job as a Marine, hold them accountable. Because if you don't, all you're doing is hurting our future generations of Marines. All right. So now we get to the end of it. I try to get quick because whoever wants to partake in some alcohol, drinks, or whatever afterwards, we can do that after the ceremony. So I sat there and I thought, everyone's like, oh, great career, and everything like that. I'm like, okay, it was fun. I did a lot of stuff, met a lot of awesome people. Why was my career so great? I was like, all right, okay, got a few awards, Yeah, I think I earned most of them, but like I said, my Marines earned this last one. So the Marines that saw me most of the time up to the last couple of months, that's their award. All right, drill field, yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. All right, so and I was down there with Eddie and Heather back there, so yeah, they made a lot of fun. Heather's our neighbor, teaching my daughter, mainly my oldest daughter, actually bad habits, so and everything. So yeah, the drill field was fun, but it didn't make it a great career. What made it a great career for me? It's like, yeah, it's easy. It's the people I work with, people I've met. All right, Major Lejeune said, or Mr. Lejeune said, I filled a senior enlisted spot at the schoolhouse, and no one before me. I would say, yeah, no one before me did any better. Then we had Antoine back there. I got to start getting the civilian names, so I had a problem with that. My transition name was like, you got to demil yourself. So Antoine back there, yeah, he did much better. All right, I already talked about Mac. We know what he could do. Talking to Mac, we never really was only stationed together a couple months here, but we know each other real well. So it's the people I met. Jimmy, my brother Jimmy Bishop back there, keeping me sane in Bahrain. Howard on the drill field with me, things like that. We couldn't have our friend Steve here. He's out doing Marine things, training, getting ready to deploy. But crazy if you'd asked me, even back at that time on the drill field, they said with us, you guys are the next Sergeant Majors and Master Gunnery Sgt. Marine Corps. Like, yeah, I'm just down here to hurt some recruits, training and everything. It's like, but yeah, it happened. I was like, whoa, how did that happen? Everything like that. And then you look at some of the other Marines I'm trying to go. I already talked about that, and I wouldn't want to forget, of course, Anthony. I'll start with him first and everything. Anthony, we've been working together twice. Awesome man. Never been in the Marine Corps. Debbie, never been in the Marine Corps. Kind of no. She's married to a Marine. Family Marines, so yeah. I got Fred, young Marines together. Dean, all this stuff. That's what made my career great. All right. And then seeing these young Marines grow up. Now Staff Sergeant Morrow. Whoa! I remember Staff Sergeant Morrow. Everything. Like, who's that young lady at SNCO Club? Everything. Wow, crazy. And it's like that. Everything made it great. I would be remiss if I didn't say a few words about some other people like Bryson. Oh wow. Jones, Gunny Jones. We've been stationed together 3 times. Like, I feel like every time I had to break him up and fight someone. But no, he's great, really great leader. He's grown into a great leader. Kind of wild, but he calms down a little bit as he gets older. Everything like that, does great things. And then First Lieutenant Ronke, worked at the embassy. I worked for a captain. Great guy, very smart, did a lot of things. Never gelled. The guy like to do all the work himself. And then I get First Lieutenant Ronke there. I was like, oh wow, this guy's actually approachable. You can talk to him. So, and it was great. I think we got along great. And I think as a team we did better than that. Well, I consider an outstanding captain. I think as a team we did better than that. So, and so that's in a nutshell of what I feel is great about my career. Because the Marines, civilians, soldiers, I know they said soldierly virtue. Tim back there was like, yeah, I'm not a Marine thing, soldierly virtue. He got it right. Tim's one of my Army friends I've met in Jordan. So, yeah. So that is what has made my career so awesome. While I'll look back, I'm going to look back and say, oh, that was awful. I'll look back and say, this is why it was so awesome. Because the people I've met, the people I'll continue to meet and hang out with, and the friendships that's going to continue to grow. And with that, just a couple admin notes. Please join me for any drink you want after the ceremony. And then if also I've arranged for some, if any of you need that information at Ducks, there's a restaurant bar here in Jacksonville, Ducks. If you want to come there at 6 o'clock tonight, and everything, we can further partake in whatever drink you want, have some dinner and stuff like that. So, and with that, I say thank you all, and look forward to talking to you all after the ceremony.
In lieu of gifts to the family, Master Gunnery Sergeant Bishop is making a donation to the Wounded Warrior Project. A gift is now being presented on behalf of the Marines and civilians of Combat Camera for Master Gunnery Sergeant Bishop's 30 years of selfless service.
Well, they just told him to carry it out. I guess we can set it here and everything like that. I looked at that. That's amazing. So.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you very much. I still look the same as I did there, though. I know that. That's what I see in the mirror.
I'm not glad.
Awkward pause, so I'm going to tell a joke. I find someone.